Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Steve Miller. As you know, I'm your account rep at Red Hat for Loyalty One. I appreciate you spending some time today. And as we mentioned, we're going to talk a little bit about our cloud infrastructure, our cloud offerings here at Red Hat. I know that you specifically want us to focus a little bit on CloudForms and OpenShift. But before I do that, I just want to take a couple of minutes and talk about some of the industry trending, what's going on with some of the statistical reports and whatnot from IDC and Gartner, and give a little overview on where I believe and Red Hat believes the Canadian market space for cloud technologies is going. So what I'd like to just start off, I'm going to just quickly draw some diagrams here so I can speak to it. And I think as it, if you study the IT market that's been going on for the last decade or so, if you see the demand for innovation, and I'm going to try to write as cleanly as possible so everybody in the back can see, is increasing over time. When you take a look at our traditional IT, and this is basically keeping the lights on, making sure that our infrastructures are moving forward, and that our applications are up and running, data centers are functioning properly. Our traditional IT over the course of time is decreasing. So this is the big issue. The issue is the capabilities gap. And when you read some of the IT magazines, they discuss this a lot and what is causing this technology gap. And if you talk to people like myself or people at Red Hat, it's three core things. The first thing is time to market. Time to market. It used to take weeks, months, sometimes years to get your applications up and running and into your environment to create impact. Now this is down to days, months, hours. The second thing is flexibility. A lot of new products out there, a lot of new applications, a lot of new technologies that your developers and the people that are driving core innovation in your industry and in your environment here at Loyalty One want to take advantage of. And of course, for the business folks and the people that are paying everybody's paycheck, driving costs out of the infrastructure. So what the whole conversation is how do we close this gap? How do we give our developers and our coders and the people that are driving innovation into our organization the innovation they need without driving it into a big expense infrastructure within Loyalty One. And don't forget, we still have to take care of our physical infrastructure that we typically, are all our physical infrastructure that we have to take care of, our virtual environments. And now, conversations around cloud. Do we want to have an open cloud? Do we want to have a closed cloud? These are the conversations that we want to have. So we've got our cloud offerings. And this is the conversation that we need to talk about. Do we want to have this cloud offering closed, which means proprietary, and which also means less flexibility? But maybe in your environment, it means more control. Maybe it means less control. I don't know. Or do we want to have a more open infrastructure? And obviously, me as a representative from Red Hat, we are going along the approach of the open infrastructure. I'm going to leave two numbers up here on the board, and I'll come back to them. I'll let you see if you can figure these out. Last but not least, we've got what's causing the demand for innovation, our current environment, and then add on top of that all our different middleware. And applications, depending if it's different business units. In the case with Loyalty One, if this is your London office and your business unit here, or if it's specific business units to programs, to loyalty, to whatever. But having these different app levels talk is a very, very difficult approach. So what we're trying to do, and what we think we're doing fairly well at Red Hat, is developing a cloud environment that embraces this complex infrastructure and drives time to market, drives flexibility, and also drives cost out of your infrastructure. So Red Hat, as you know, is all about open source. We don't own this technology. What we do is we, from the community base, we package the best of the best, and we integrate with other tools and operating infrastructures to make sure that your environment is optimized. But that being said, if we want to talk at the infrastructure level, the platform level, or what I call the application or the application fabric level, we certainly do have solutions that address all of these. Today, what you wanted to talk about was CloudForms. CloudForms falls squarely in your infrastructure as a service. OpenShift, platform as a service. Application fabric, how do we get these communicating with each other very cleanly? So I'm not going to go into the products around this other than just highlight the names of them, because we've got Dan and Gord here to go into it. But I do want to mention your application fabric. We've got our JBoss suite. I'm going to put it in red just so that it's easy to see. We've got our JBoss, and we've got our JBoss integration, which we used to call EDS, Enter Business BPM. So the data integration was the EDS tool that we had talked about ages ago, which is basically a federation of applications that can actually harmonize and allow these to communicate with each other. So that's at our application level. Platform as a service, OpenShift. Great for the development community. You can have cartridges that run in any language, whatever specific language and or products or applications you want to use. You can go in and get a cartridge. It's either online, it's in the community, or you can order it through us from OpenShift, and you can develop your own application that can reside in your fabric layer. That's OpenShift. And then obviously infrastructure, this is where our Red Hat cloud applications are. So we've got our Rev, which is the complement or a competitor to your VMware applications, and we've got your OpenStack in here, and of course CloudForms. CloudForms is what I do want to highlight today. And Dan and Gord are getting into it more, but I want to make this relationship that it's a management tool that was from ManageIQ that we have now Red Hat-ized, so to speak, and it allows you to take a look in your virtual environments and in your cloud environments and drive management tools around that. So, in summary, I just wanted to bring to your attention that Red Hat does have a very open and hybrid philosophy to cloud infrastructures. We do have a series of products that are related to your application layer, to your platform as a service environment, and it's to your infrastructure as a service environment. And in summary, what I wanted to do is just maybe highlight a couple of things that the industry analysts are saying and others are saying, just so you're not just hearing it strictly from me, but you're hearing it from others in the community, experts like Gartner and IDC. So I do have a couple of notes I just want to read in summary. 80% of the world's public clouds run on Linux, the open source platform pioneered by Red Hat. And in a recent study by IDC, 72%, there's your 80%, 72% said the key consideration for the cloud strategy was to make sure that it was open, because that's where all the innovation happens. That's a study by IDC, a very recent study by IDC. I've got two others that I just want to read to you that I thought were interesting that I found as notes the other day. This is another one by IDC. This is Frank Jens, who's the Senior VP and Chief Analyst at IDC. By the end of the decade, IDC expects at least 80% of the industry's growth and the enterprise's highest value leverage of IT will be driven by cloud services, right in this environment. So whether it's our Red Hat cloud environment or our OpenShift environment, 80% of all the new innovation will be driven in that specific area. Gartner says, they did a poll recently, and this one is actually last month, 78% of the recipients say, 78% of the recipients say management and operational processes was chosen as the biggest challenge. So when I mentioned cloud forms here earlier, that's exactly where this falls into place. This is our management tool that can address virtualized environments, cloud environments, and help give you a layer here of visibility so that you can look down at your applications, you can look down at your open VMs, you can look down at the development environments and ensure that it's being optimized and maximized. My last quote. Gartner said, Red Hat, if you're a Gartner fan and you're all about the Gartner Magic Quadrant, Red Hat is in the Gartner Magic Quadrant for on-premise application platforms. Right in here. With our JBoss integration. And this was published of June 2013. So there's a lot more information that both Gord and Dan are going to bring up next. We're going to get into the product suite that I've kind of just briefly touched on. And if there's anything here that resonates with you, please speak up. I've got a lot of information. I've got a lot of documents and infrastructure analyst reports from Gartner, IDC that I can share with you. But at a high level, I just wanted to kind of give you an overview of where Red Hat believes this cloud strategy and innovation is going. And we'll get into more details around that with Gordon and Dan coming up next. Thank you for your time, and I appreciate your attention.